responsible to be even out of your parents' house. I think your question should be what's wrong with Singaporeans.
Okay, let me ask you all, what do you think is the sort of future that we want in Singapore? Numbers aside, I think that sometimes numbers and population size and economic growth will depend on what exactly do we want out of Singapore. Are we willing to accept status quo and be happy with what we have? Or do we want Singapore to grow into more dynamically and economically and advance more as a city-state? What do we want?
Our population will grow. I think the point that we are afraid is the population's growth is supported generally by immigration. This is not what we want. We want a population growth supported by the words of the Singapore government, Singapore core. If that is so, that's why I have more babies. Singaporeans have more babies.
Yes, I travel a lot, and whenever I come back, I travel Abu Dhabi, big city, big structure, everything. When I come back, I feel Singapore so small, but it's still a home to me.
Yeah.
It's home to me. But it's always a but. Okay, complainer, sorry. I mean, the thing is, the opportunity, the market is not there for me. See, I have to explore outside. People are not opening up. The mentality. People are not opening up. I mean, for my market especially, they're not opening up, and I would naturally die off, and I acceptance outside my country.
No, but isn't that natural? A prophet is not without honor, save in his own country. And anyway, Singapore market is very small. And even if you had greater acceptance, you still have to move out. And you should be happy that the Singapore-grown product is making headway overseas.
To me, it's not the Singapore life. It's not accepting a second round. It's very difficult. If I'm not persistent enough, I just let go in my business. So the thing is now, thank God, God grace and outside country is calling me. But if I fail, it's very hard for me to come back again. The structure not there, the infrastructure not there. They keep promoting entrepreneur, but how to accept the loss, how to come back, we're not thought of. How to accept the negative, the failures, we're not thought of. Do you have a second chance? This is hard,
I don't know whether our expectations are so high that even when we want to develop as entrepreneurs, we expect the government to make it possible. Entrepreneurship is something that you develop inwardly, that you toughen up in yourself. And I think the circumstances of, even if there's non-acceptance of failure, the fact that you fail and you bounce back, that's an education that you learned in Singapore.
In your case, Singapore gave you the opportunity to test bait your
to
ideas.
fail and to succeed.
Isn't it?
Everybody is a test. Everybody takes Singapore as a test bait.
In your case, if you go to your history, I think that you have test baited your product, your ideas here, and it's successful here. Not big enough, and then you manage to reach out, and then you're successful. I think this is very important. If Singapore can have the conditions for people to test bait, not everybody will win, some will lose, right? But those who win are able to spread out. This is exactly what we want.
Yes.
Yeah, we are punching above our weight.
That is true entrepreneurship. Sorry,
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But the education or painting it, entrepreneurship is different.
I think you're talking about the general attitude towards failure, towards nurturing entrepreneurs and all that.
Yes.
And there could be greater room for improvement there.
Indeed, yes.
So that you do not feel so alone.
Yes.
Okay? So that's your wish list for Singapore. How about our young man here?
I actually am very happy to and count myself very fortunate to be living in Singapore. It only took a few trips overseas to sort of gain that appreciation. I think
Overseas where?
This year particularly, I was working on a humanitarian project in Nepal just to help out an orphanage. there. And for me, I think that what I would like Singapore, what I would like to see more in Singaporean youth or Singaporeans itself is I feel that coming back from Nepal, it sort of made me realize we are sort of living in a bubble, and we are very blessed and we are very fortunate. Compared to, say, a nation such as Nepal, say, children who are, because I come from a single parent family, so to me it was very adverse conditions living in Singapore, not having two parents who will work and having to apply for financial assistance, financial grants. That was sort of the exception here. But when I went over and had a better grasp about the reality that other nations have, it caused me to be not only very grateful, but also to sort of say, what can I do having so much and having resources in my hands that would better help, say, our neighbors or our friends overseas. And of course, I'm not trying to tackle international or global problems.
So you're thinking we're having it good in Singapore, that we are in a comfortable situation?
Yeah, I feel that sometimes we may be comfortable people looking for more comfort.
Would you be talking like that if you did not go overseas?
Perhaps not. Yeah, perhaps not. In all honesty, because
True.
I may have not had that kind of experiential knowledge, and therefore would not come to that conclusion.
I think it's also very important that we don't keep trying to convince ourselves of what a great society that we live in, because I can tell you that hard numbers, 56% of this survey done by Mindshare, I think it's an international polling group, found that 56% of Singaporeans said that they would wish they could emigrate. That's more than half of your population. Another survey done by a Polytechnic, my memory fails me right now, I cannot remember which one, but they found that 37% of younger Singaporeans, meaning between 18 and 29 or 30, 37% said they felt no loyalty to this country. All these translate into very serious consequences for us. These are young people who are expected to fight to defend this country. If they feel no loyalty to our country, what happens then? So I keep saying that let's not keep lulling ourselves in thinking that everybody is so happy when there are indicators that show that Singaporeans are a very unhappy people. Now, having said that, the kind of society that at least I would like to see, that I would like sometime in the future be able to for our society to realize, is to live in a more compassionate society. One whereby our people don't measure their self-worth, their human worth, by the size of their accounts, by the kind of cars that they drive, by the kind of flats or houses, whether it's terraces, semi-detached or a bungalow, and now you have good class bungalows, that kind of things. But rather, for us to measure success by the content of our character, how much we care for the people around us, how much we care about the society that we live in, how much we can begin to uplift the people around us and to upgrade the lot, not just for ourselves, but for everybody.
Well, that is commendable. For a nation to succeed, you cannot separate growth and economic success from graciousness and the desire to be more community-minded. And I think the debate will never end here. The debate will continue. It will continue to be refined and debated and discussed and improved. And it's an ongoing process. And hopefully at the end of it, we continue along the path which, judging from what you've all said, we're not doing too badly in Singapore at all. And we'll continue along the path of improving Singapore and having a more open society that looks not only at dynamic economic growth, but also the softer side of a developed society of graciousness, of a sense of community, and a sense of sharing and respect for other people within the community. With that, we end this night's discussion. Good night.